Well, hi everybody at YouTube, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And my live stream today is talking about TOEFL scores and improving TOEFL scores. And one of my students who joined my course about a month ago, she just took the TOEFL test for the very first time. And she now has a score, right? So that's kind of what this video is all about. And she has a question. Her TOEFL score right now is 78, and she wants to know how she can get 100. That is the question, right? So let me go ahead and talk to this student here. If anybody else, if you guys are watching this, I'm hoping you can probably get some good ideas. And remember that the TOEFL is a difficult test, and it's measuring academic English language proficiency, and it takes time to improve one's TOEFL score. It doesn't happen quickly. It takes a lot of practice over a fairly long period of time. That's kind of what I want to talk about right now. Okay, so Hiba. So you sent me the email, I think, a couple of days ago, and I need to get to your message. So you say, I took my TOEFL exam for the first time after studying, but I got a very low score. Maybe you want to say here, maybe put, I got a very low score, maybe put of 78. And then you can put here, you can put 18 reading, 18 listening, 19 writing, and 23 speaking. Probably put a period here. Maybe say, so what is your advice? And when you're using advice as a noun, you want to spell it A-D-V-I-C-E. You say, what is your advice to me? I should get a score above 100 to apply. I would say to apply to, you could apply for a scholarship, but you apply to a university. Okay, so you say, please help me. And since you're already one of my students, I will explain to you what you need to do and how you need to use my course in order to get the improvements that you need. Now, first of all, we're assuming right now you need right around 30 points, right? Actually, not quite, 20. However, you want to go from about 80 to 100. And that is a pretty high score. So the question is, how much time? How much time will you need to study so you can feel comfortable knowing when you can get the results that you need, right? That's kind of the question that you want to think about here. So usually it takes students, Hiba, they get about 5 to 10 points higher for each month that they study when they're doing their TOEFL preparation study, right? So for you, you're probably looking at least probably 4 months. I would say probably anywhere from 2 to 5 months. That would be my best estimate right now. Maybe as few as 2, as many as 5 months. If you're studying every day, you're really diligent, right? So for you, as you're using my course, and I want you to also take a look here. I've just about finished my new website, so if you want to try it out, let me put this one up here. It's stealth.michaelbuckoff.com. Right now you're using the stealth.bettertoeflscores.com, but I had to make a lot of upgrades. I had some database problems, so if you want to try out the new site, you can go over to stealth.michaelbuckoff.com. So for you, the first thing, because you need a lot of improvements in a lot of different areas, especially when it comes to reading, listening, and writing, I'm going to recommend that you focus right now in the vocabulary and the grammar sections of my course. I would do that first. Your speaking, it's pretty good. Your pronunciation is pretty good. But first focus in the vocabulary and the grammar sections. That means taking a lot of the vocabulary words. I recommend writing them down onto note cards and then putting on one side of the card, you can put the actual word. Then on the other side, you can put a definition and a sample sentence, and then begin studying those words. That's really one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. What you want to do there is to really master all 1,700 of those TOEFL vocabulary words. Remember, you can even practice writing sentences using the words. That's very good practice. In the grammar section, you can continue on there. You can take a grammar diagnostic pretest, and you can start going through the grammar lessons. I recommend, again, you want to practice writing sentences using the grammar that you're studying. And I think that's going to be very good. So I would do that first, if you haven't already done that in my course. Now, the next thing is to complete the listening and the reading sections of my course, HEBA. I think that's the next thing you want to do. Now, with the listening and reading sections, obviously you can go through the lectures and you can complete those comprehension quizzes, and similarly, you can do the same thing with the reading. However, let's take it a step further. What I'd like you to do here, as you do your listening and reading practice, get in the habit of taking notes. This is very, very important. You want to practice taking notes. I'll give you a few reasons why here. The main thing is, when you're taking notes, you're thinking, you're actively involved in the listening and the reading passages, which is good, right? So take those notes down on a sheet of paper, and then once you've done that, you can use your notes to do two things. Number one, you can use your notes to write 250-word summaries of the reading and the listening passages. My advice is that you do maybe 3 or 4 of these written summaries each week. This is good. I'm telling you. This is how you beat the TOEFL. You see what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're doing that. You're comfortable writing about these listening and reading passages. And in addition to that, you should also be speaking about this information. Again, using your notes, you can practice giving 60-second responses, I think, to those listening and those reading passages. Now you say, well, Michael, my reading's already good, but you're missing my point. The whole point is that you're using the vocabulary that you're listening to and you're reading, and you're using that. And if you use it, you're more likely to remember it. And then it becomes part of your speaking and part of your writing, and it will even help you when you're doing reading and listening later on down the line. You see what I'm saying? So that's very important. All right? So you're doing that listening and that reading practice. Okay, let's keep going here. Once you've done that, now remember the listening, there's about 40 listening practice tests there, and there's about 70 reading practice tests on my website. So if you follow my lead there and you're doing that listening, reading, you're doing the comprehension quizzes, but you're taking notes, and then you're also writing and speaking about that information, that is really going to get you in the right go in the right direction. And then what you can do is you can complete the writing and speaking sections of my course. You're probably already doing this. So what you can do here is go through those writing lessons, focus on the independent and the integrated writing lessons. And the main thing here is as you're doing the writing and the speaking lessons, eventually you want to start doing the practice test. I think that's going to be very good for you. And then you send me those independent and integrated writing practice tests by email, and I will listen to them and score them. All right, so I think this three-step plan will get you where you need to be. And like I said, it's probably going to take you anywhere from 2 to 5 months, I think, for you to reach your goals. That would be a normal, very good progression. The good thing is you have a benchmark now. You've taken the TOEFL, you know where you are. And what I would do is, instead of retaking the test again to see where you are, I would use ScoreNexus. ScoreNexus is a website on the internet that offers realistic, full-length IBT practice tests. You can go to scorenexus.com and you can learn more about those. And once you've gone through my course, maybe for 2 months, and you've studied diligently, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day, right? Then you can take a full-length IBT practice test to see where you are. You know you're at 78 right now. The question is, how much higher are you after you take that practice test? And that'll give you an idea on whether or not you need to keep studying, or are you ready to take the official TOEFL exam. You see what I'm saying, Heba? So those are my comments for you right now. Those are some things I would recommend for you to do. Okay? And I think if you follow that plan, you will go in the right direction. Now, the main thing is in addition, I want to make sure you don't get this problem. We call this in academics, I call it TOEFL-itis. TOEFL-itis, I don't know if you've ever heard of something like arthritis, right? Arthritis is inflammation of the joints in your body, and it's quite painful. It's a sickness, it's a disease. So when I say TOEFL-itis, I mean it's a disease. It means that you are focusing a little bit too much on the TOEFL and not enough on other areas of your English. So in addition to following my plan that you see, that I've outlined kind of in this video, the other thing, Heba, that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting a lot of exposure to English. It's easy. A lot of what I'm going to say to you is actually fun. So what you can do right now for the next few months, you can watch movies each week. That's a great way to get that exposure into your brain. You're hearing more English. That would be very good for your listening comprehension abilities. It's also good for your speaking because you get more used to how native speakers talk. So you can certainly do that. You see what I'm saying? But that's probably not enough. In addition to that, make sure you're watching TV on a regular basis. When you're watching TV, you can focus on listening type programs, maybe news, documentary, history, maybe science programs. That would be a very good start. And I think that will get you going in the right direction. All right, Heba? So those are some things I think you can do to continue to improve your TOEFL abilities. And then eventually you'll need to retake the TOEFL exam, and let's see how you do. All right, so those are my comments for you. And everybody at YouTube, I know you guys are watching right now. It takes work. You guys already know this. It takes work to improve your English abilities, right? And if you study a little bit every day over a long term, it makes a very big difference, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, but I will start it again in just a minute. I'm going to do some grading with TOEFL practice tests, so I will be right back maybe in about 5 minutes.